Hi everyone, thanks for popping along to check out our latest podcast. Today I'm very excited. We've got a podcast with a chap called Dominic, working with the If You Care Share Foundation, and also got his finger in a few other pies, so we'll soon find out. But welcome along, Dominic. Thank you for popping along and telling us all about you.
Thank you for inviting us. And
Yeah.
yes, fingers in many pies. That's
Fingers
a good
in
way
many
to put it.
pies. Yeah, we'll come to that one in a
We
minute.
will, we
yeah.
will.
But on it, like I say, for the viewers, this is very just much a relaxed conversation. The If You Care Share Foundation is a very, very worthwhile organisation, and I'm very proud to be kind of working with you. But also you as an individual, because when I get people along, I want to get to know them as well. So if you'd just like to tell everybody a little bit about you.
Yeah, well, as you say, I work for If You Care Share Foundation. So I'm in charge of the funding, the events, things like that. So I try to get the cash in so we can do what we do.
No easy task.
Not an easy task, no, but I do enjoy it. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. So I joined If You Care Share Foundation in 2018, so about 2 years ago now, after working in politics for many years. So
Oh, that
know,
word.
many would-
That's the fingers in the pies.
well, many would say I got out right at the right time. So yes, I've been there about 2 years now.
Yeah.
Really enjoy it, and as a
Excellent.
charity, we just make a huge difference. That might
Huge
sound a little
difference.
bit self-obsessed, but we
No.
genuinely do.
Yeah.
I see it on a daily basis.
Yeah. And you've come quite a long way in quite a short period of time, really.
We have. I mean, for those who don't know about the sort of background
Yeah.
of the charity, so we started off in, I suppose officially, we started off in 2005 when a young man called Daniel,
Yeah.
who was aged 19, he took his own life. Now, there was no indication that he was going to do that. No one saw it coming. And unfortunately, yeah, he took his own life. And in response, his family started If You Care Share Foundation. And it's grown and grown and grown. We became a registered charity in 2011. And it was started literally with a laptop in a back
Yeah.
bedroom. And it's grown. We've now got 25 members of staff, and we work
Yeah.
across the northeast. And we do a few things. We do suicide prevention, so we work with people who are at risk of taking their own life, and we try to help them. We work with people who've lost loved ones to suicide. And once again, that's doing whatever it takes. That can be counselling, trauma therapy, but also alternative therapies like
Yeah.
massage, aromatherapy, things like that. And just being there for them as well, which is really important.
Keywords, be there for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And at possibly the worst time you could
Yeah.
ever have, where, having someone there is really important.
Yeah.
And we also work in schools and in football clubs and in the community, especially with young people, so promoting positive mental health.
Yeah.
So we go in there and we don't talk about suicide, we talk about emotions, about feelings, encouraging them to, reach out and
Yeah.
get support if they need it. So
Fantastic.
hopefully those young people growing up, it'll become second nature to
Yeah.
them. And, unfortunately, we won't lose them, hopefully, in the future. So we do quite a few things.
Quite a few things.
We're never bored.
Yeah. Oh, you do have quite a large staff. I mean, I popped in your offices the other week, and I went in the main office, and I was like, "What the hell's going on here?" It was
Chaos.
like it was just a hive of activity. Everybody kind of running around and doing things. I'm like, I felt like a kind of school child stood in the corner. I'm like, "Oh,
It is chaos sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, we moved into our new headquarters in Chesley Street about a year and a half ago. And we thought, we've got all this space now, and
Yeah.
we're already running out of space, which in some ways is a good thing, in some ways is a
Yeah.
bad thing. It means we can help more people,
Yeah.
which is great, and we can reach even more people, which is fantastic. But obviously, because of this, the things that we deal with, it's slightly bittersweet.
Yeah.
We always say that, we wish we didn't have to be there,
yeah,
but we're glad that we are.
yeah." What a great way of thinking about it. Absolutely. But it is a fantastic service you're offering, and all the people I've spoke to over there there's such a heart there, and the title "If You Care Share," the word care, there really is that caring mentality, and it's not even just about caring for the kind of the service user or anything. It's actually caring for each other. You have created a kind of real team, and I'm going to change that word team to family. The kind of real family
It's a lovely place to work, and I know that probably sounds quite strange because of what we deal with, but it is a lovely place to work because we do support each other, because quite frankly we have to. We deal with some very nasty stuff, let's be honest with you. We deal with some very, very difficult situations. I think what helps is that the majority of our staff have been affected by suicide. They've lost a loved one, for example. And that changes it slightly for us. It is a passion for us. It's a genuine passion for us. We're not just going to work doing the 9 to 5 every day. It's something that we really believe in and that we're really passionate about. And we see the difference that we can make. You know, we see the transformation of people who might have been, you know, on the edge of possibly taking their own life, and we help them and we give them that future. We give them that positivity. We give them we show them that there is another way, and that's really important. And it's great for us. It's fantastic. It's absolutely brilliant.
And it's all done kind of through the latter stage of your title, the share.
Yes.
You know, if we share, then we can get through it. We can work through it.
Absolutely. And you know, being able to talk, being able to share, being able to get, you know, get what's on your mind, and you know, because we all have problems. We're all you know, we're only human, you know.
Exactly.
Everyone on this planet will have times when they're really struggling. You know, everyone does. There's not a single person on this planet who won't have had a time when they're really struggling. And we all need help at times.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all need a helping hand. We all need a chat.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that's why we've got organisations like ours and like many others. There's some great charities out there, and that's what we're here for. Excellent.
And I love what you're saying as well about the kind of the getting into schools and getting into clubs and whatnot, and kind of starting that conversation. You know, you might not kind of focus a conversation around suicide, but you focus a conversation around emotions, how we're feeling. You know, getting children of a young age, right at the very beginning, to actually say, well, it's okay to share your emotions.
Absolutely. I mean, we always think that, you know, when you're growing up, you're taught how to tie your shoelaces, you're taught how to add up, but you're not necessarily taught about how to deal with very human emotions. And that's, you know, that's something that we should be taught about, because as I said before, we're all going to be going through these emotions. We're all going to struggle at some point in our life, but we're never taught how to deal with that. And that's, you know, that it seems strange, really. It really does. So the work that we do in schools, I think, is incredibly valuable, because in the long term, what we'd like to think that the work we do in schools is going to really help people and is going to change things in the long term. And hopefully, you know, there'll be kids out there who are coming to our sessions who are, you know, going through and learning about what we're teaching them, and it could save their life in the future. And, well, fingers crossed it will. Absolutely.
And it's when you talk about kind of, we don't learn how to talk about our emotions. And as you were saying that, it kind of, I was very aware that certain areas are tougher than others. You know, what would you say maybe kind of Sunderland, and when we think of the whole UK, do you think Sunderland and this kind of area is particularly tough?
I think certainly the North East. I mean, I've lived in a few places across the country in my time, and the North East, I think we do still have that mentality of, you know, especially in men. I mean, you know, I think of, you know, oh, we're blokes, we can, you know, we're all right. You know,
tough or something.
Right. We can get through. We're all right. We don't need to talk to anyone. But I mean, I think that attitude is changing slightly, slowly. I think we're definitely going in the right direction. But there's still that attitude there. And, you know, that's how people have grown up, and that's how we've been for generations, haven't we? And it's going to be tough to turn that round.
Absolutely.
But I think we're going in the right direction.
So I'm very aware that I grew up like that. I grew up with that mentality, but my dad was kind of like, oh, no, just carry on. I mean, I remember when I first told him I was going to go back to college and study counselling. Well, I said, Dad, I'm going back to college. He says, oh, fantastic. So what are you going to study? Expecting engineering or something like that. So I'm going to be a counsellor. And he's like, he says, I tell you what, Sonny, if you can make a few quid out of it, brilliant. But it's a load of shite. So I'm like, all right, cheers, Dad. But it's absolutely right, that kind of mentality. But now I'm really aware of that. So my son, he's only 5-year-old, and bless him, I just shower him with kisses and cuddles. I'm like, speak your feelings, son. Speak your feelings.
That's it, because it could potentially save a life. It really could. And it's also influencing other people as well. So if your son grows up and he's very open about his emotions, he's talking to people, if he's struggling, he talks to someone about it, he gets that help. And it's shown other people that, you know, Yeah, it's fine to do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. You know, I mean, like yourself, I mean, I suppose my parents were always a bit like that. There was,
Yeah.
oh, get on with it, man, you'll be all right and
Aye.
everything. But sometimes you do need that help. Sometimes
Exactly.
you do need that support. You do need to talk to someone. And yeah, things are changing.
Brilliant.
But not fast enough.
Yeah, yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, you're absolutely right, because, we learn by experience. So the more, and like say, if you're going to schools and you're kind of really kind of promoting this, talking about your emotions and everything, then people are going to experience it. You know, they're going to take it in, they're going to see other people doing it, say, oh, actually, well, it's actually okay to do this. It's okay to discuss our emotions.
Well, one of our sort of key things that we always say is it's okay not to feel okay.
Yeah.
And it is, you know, because we're all not going to feel okay at some point in our lives.
Exactly.
Of course we are.
Exactly.
You know, we're a human.
Yeah. You've said that a couple of times, and that's the one thing I really love. That's a kind of basis around my whole kind of the way I practice. You know, and all the professionals, all my colleagues and all that, all kind of pull the face when I kind of start talking this way. Human, all too human. And we are. It's tough being human.
Yeah, it is.
It comes at a price, and the price is emotions.
Absolutely.
Positive and negative emotions.
Absolutely. And you know, sometimes we do need help.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And even to a point where even counsellors, you know, I'm quite openly admit that I'm in and out of therapy. You know, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I talk to other counsellors, and I see I'm feeling a bit down, I'm feeling a bit rough, and that's okay. Often people get a bit kind of, what do you mean? You're a counsellor, and you're feeling a bit dodgy, feeling a bit down.
Once again, you're only human.
I'm human, yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's so simple.
Yeah.
So simple.
I mean, it's the same with our team. I mean, like I say, we've got a team of 25 now, and they deal with some very, very difficult things, and we're not made of stone.
Yeah.
You know? We're not made of stone, so... You know, we get offered counselling. We can have massages, for example, to help relax us, which is very nice.
I think that should actually be passed on to the companies that you work with, mind as well. A nice massage sounds quite good.
I'm sure it can be arranged. But it's about that caring for the carers as well.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's a case that, I mean, like yourself, you know, if you don't feel right, then you're not going to be able to help anyone.
Exactly.
You know, so it's really, really important. And sometimes people forget about that. I know, you know, we work very closely with the police, for example, and we see, for example, police officers or firefighters or ambulance crews. We see them as sort of superhuman, you know, as if they should be above and beyond. And they should be absolutely, you know, they shouldn't show any emotion almost. But these people are like you and me. You've just put, for example, with a police officer, they're like you and me. They've got a little bit of training here and there, but they're also a bit like you and me, and someone's stuck a shirt on them with the word police on the arm. That's all. Exactly. That's the only difference, you know. And we work very closely with the police around, for example, around suicides and things like that. And it's very difficult for them to see stuff like that. It's not a nice thing to do.
Exactly. And I've got a saying in my head, and I'm trying to weigh up whether I should say it or not. Because I'm very aware I do swear a fair bit. But it's kind of the idea of everybody's shite stinks.
Yeah, well,
you know, it's true.
It's true.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're all human. We're all in this together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic, the idea of really kind of pushing out more. And I know, because I mean, predominantly you started off down kind of Chelsea Street way in Durham.
Yeah, that's right. So we started off around County Durham,
and
we've just grown and grown. So we now cover from the sort of Scottish borders in the north, so Berwick, sort of our cut-off point, down to the sort of border with Teesside. So it's a big old area.
Yeah.
It's huge. I mean, you don't quite realise how big Northumberland is until you try and drive around it. It's a big area. Yeah. And we cover a huge population as well. I mean, we're talking millions of people here.
Wow.
And each community is different as well. You know, each community has their different problems. And many people say with suicide, you know, I mean, just a little short story. I remember when I was talking to someone a few months ago about what I do, about you know, about working for the charity, and we deal with suicide and things. And they turned around to me and went, "Oh, well, you know, it's all about deprivation and poverty, isn't it?" And I went, well, no, it's not.
What a myth, eh?
Everyone is different. We work in communities. We do work in communities where there's a lot of deprivation and things like that. But at the same time, we work with multimillionaires. You just never know. You never know. Everyone has their own problems.
Yeah.
Everyone needs help at some point. It doesn't matter whether you've got £1 million or not a penny in the bank.
Yeah.
Everyone has problems.
Yeah. And that's really strikes us, because it's, I mean, I was involved in a conversation on LinkedIn with talking about mental health issues and whatnot, and what's causing the kind of mental health epidemic that we're in at the moment. And I put on a kind of short video saying that, well, it's about kind of connections that were lost. The kind of, we're trying to reconnect with our own authentic life. And then, of course, there was some other professionals kind of jumping in, oh, no, it's a chemical imbalance. And I'm like, oh, right, okay. Yeah, there is some people have a chemical imbalance. Or it's all kind of, it's all psychological, they've experienced trauma. I'm like, well, okay, yeah, that's some people. But everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
And I sometimes think that, the kind of boxes that certain things are put into need removing.
Mm-hmm.
We all just need to say, well, actually, everybody is their own person.
And it's true. I mean, we experience that in what we do,
Yeah.
Everyone is different. Everyone has their own problems. Everyone also needs different solutions. So that's why we do so many different things. So we do counselling, we do trauma therapy, and that's great for some people. It's fantastic. It works for them. But for other people, that doesn't work,
Exactly.
So that's why we do the alternative therapies like the massage, like the aromatherapy. Will help people who, that might be having trouble with benefits. They might have had a relationship breakup. They might be having housing trouble. Everyone's story is different, and therefore the support you give needs to be different as well. It needs to be tailored to the individual.
Absolutely. And I think another key element of that as well is process, isn't it? It's kind of like, well, not everybody's ready to deal with certain things at a certain time.
That's right.
So, I mean, obviously we get people coming for counselling and say, well, okay, you come to counselling for this, but are you ready in your process to actually deal with this? Okay, well, not yet, but in the future you are. So it's about recognising what's right for the person in that moment.
Absolutely, and recognising they're ready. I mean, the work that we do around supporting people after they've lost a loved one, we've got people who have lost a loved one very recently. It could be a matter of weeks. But at the same time, we work with people who've lost loved ones 30 years ago.
Yeah.
There's no set time for support.
Absolutely.
Sometimes people don't need that support straight away, and they can deal with it in their own way, and that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think it's important to recognise that as well, because sometimes I think we do risk saying, oh, well, you need support now, you need it straight away. It doesn't work for everyone. It works great for some people, but not for everyone.
And it can't be imposed on somebody neither.
Absolutely.
It can't be said, you've got to do this.
Absolutely.
You've got to go through this intensive counselling now and you'll be all right. It's about allowing their process and their journey.
Absolutely.
So what about any challenges? Because, I mean, you mentioned that because obviously you're a charity now and you rely on funding and trying to get the money in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the biggest challenge, but I think that's the same with any charity, isn't it? We run on donations. We get a certain amount of funding, but, I would say the majority of our money comes in from, rattling tins and baking cakes and, stuff like that. So that's always the major challenge, because we know that we live in the northeast. We have the highest rate of suicide in the country. So we know that we live in a high demand area. And we know that with more money, we could do more. We know we could. So that's the biggest challenge for us. I mean, for example, when we brought our first suicide prevention worker on board, we wrote a funding bid for it and everything like that. And they ask, how many people do you think you'll work with? And as an estimate, we said we worked with about 40 people in the first year. Now, within 12 months, that suicide prevention worker was working with nearly 200 people.
Wow.
That just shows the level of demand that's out there.
Yeah.
But it also shows the amount of work that we're doing.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of positive, good news stories there from the work that we do. But we know we could do more. So that's the biggest challenge. But also awareness as well. I mean, the worst thing that we can ever hear from someone is, I wish I'd known about you before.
Yeah.
So we work really hard to let people know that we're there. We work a lot in businesses. We work a lot in schools. We work a lot in the community, just to let people know that we're here and this is how we can help. Because if people don't know about us, then we can't help them.
Exactly. And I think that's such an important part, awareness. There's some people, we just have to know that there's something there. There's somebody there. So when we actually do need something, say, well, okay, I can go there. Yeah.
That's it. And it is someone to reach out to, and that can be so important for someone, because often when they're struggling, if they feel there's no one there, then unfortunately it can lead to absolute disaster.
Exactly.
But if they know, for example, if they know we're here,
Yeah.
and they can get that help, they can pick up the phone, they can drop us an email, drop us a text, drop us a Facebook message or something like that, and they know there'll be someone on the other end who will talk to them and will help them.
Yeah.
That can be a lifesaver.
So it's a reassurance of just knowing that we're not alone.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, that's what we're all, in all elements of our life, that's kind of what we're after, isn't it?
Absolutely.
We want kind of some reassurance that we're not going through this kind of, it sounds a bit dark and depressing, but this chaos of life alone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And life can be chaos, let's be honest.
Can it ever? Especially in your office.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
No, but the idea of getting the funding in as well. So Lighthouse Therapy Group is now a KIC. We're a community interest company, and I work on funding bids and try and get money in. And I look at these funding bids, I'm like, what the... It's just a minefield. And of course, we're only really small, so it's just me kind of sat at the desk trying to make sense of this. And I'm like, it's just bonkers, and it's such a ruthless market as well.
Absolutely. There's so many people wanting the funding, and there's only so much funding out there, and some people are going to be disappointed, unfortunately, and that's the name of the game, isn't it?
But I know for a fact from first-hand experience as well that the If You Care Share Foundation are very lucky to have you on board, because we met about a month or so ago, just over a month ago, at the Hope Street Exchange.
Oh, of course, yes.
Yes,
that's
when
right.
and you did an auction for a Sunderland football.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and for some reason, I forked out about 60 quid for a signed Sunderland AFC ball. I was like, oh, I've
very
got
much
home.
appreciated.
Yeah.
Mind you, how much will that be worth if we go up at the end of the season?
Oh, I might get a fiver for it. I might be able to swap it for a pint and a pickled egg. So what about the other stuff in your life? I mean, we've talked about your role with the If You Care Share Foundation, but what about you as an individual?
Well, I mean, I'm also a city councillor in Sunderland.
Ooh.
So I know, I won't tell you which party for, because you'll kick us out. But yes, I'm a city councillor, which is something I really do enjoy, to be honest with you. I know it's the old thing that, you want to make a difference and everything like that, but to be honest with you, councillors really can make a difference. It's not, you're not going to change the world, but you can change your community. And there's certain things I've done. I mean, I was elected in May, so I've been around for about 9-10 months now.
Right.
And there's a few things that I've been really proud of so far. I mean, certainly at local level, we've got stuff done, like we've got litter picks done, and, we've cleaned up areas, and, just made things a little bit nicer for residents, which is great. It's fantastic. And when you get a resident, like, drop you a text or an email or something saying, oh, thanks for getting that done, it's brilliant. It's fantastic. It's lovely. But on a more wider, a larger scale, one of the first motions that I put in the council after I was elected was an idea to, you may have seen, there's temporary messages of hope, as we call them, on the bridges across the city. So these are designed by a young girl called Paige, and she has designed them herself. She does them at home, just designs them and puts them on the bridge and sticks them to the bridge, and they're designed to sort of, if there's someone who is contemplating taking their own life, they may be on the bridge, it's something for them to look at, to give them hope, to try and stop them from doing it. Yeah. And it has worked. I mean, Paige estimates it's saved around 28 lives, which is absolutely incredible. But the problem we've got with these signs is they're temporary, they're homemade, and they blow off after about a week. So the first motion that I put through council was to get these permanently installed on the bridges. And it was voted through unanimously, which was over the moon. Absolutely, so bringing all the parties together, brilliant. It's just no easy task.
Get yourself to London.
So that got put through, and we're currently working on getting them installed at the minute. So there's still a bit of work to do, but they will be going on the bridge eventually.
Brilliant, man.
So they're going to be installed, and hopefully, I mean, if it saves one life, it's worth it. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, and absolutely. I think we're the first place in the country that has that, but I know that some other cities are now starting to look at it. Middlesbrough are looking at it now, so we're leading the way.
Fantastic.
Which is good. It's fantastic.
I mean that great cause aside, that the fact that, and I know councillors get a bad rep, and politics is a kind of the taboo word, but shout it out. You've done a good thing, man. You've done a good
Thank
thing
you.
that's
Thank
going to
you.
help people.
And that's it. That's why, I don't like you say politics does get a bad rap, and for good cause sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some good ones in it and there's some bad ones in it. Let's
Yeah.
be honest, like
Yeah.
every profession, I suppose.
I'm biting my tongue thinking about a few of them right now.
We won't mention any names, eh? We won't mention any names. But there's good and bad.
Yeah.
But there are some great people in politics for the right reasons. And I always think if you go into politics, you should go in it for the right reasons, because you want to make things better. And it doesn't matter what political party you're in or anything. I always think, I mean, I've got friends in other parties. I nearly let slip what party I was in. But
you'll slip before the end of the podcast, believe me.
But I've got friends in other parties. Some of my best friends are in very different parties to the one I'm in.
Yeah.
But I always think that, we're all going in the same direction and trying to get the same destination. We're all trying to get to the destination of making people's lives better.
Yeah.
We're just taking a different route to get there.
Yeah.
And I honestly do believe that. I do believe
Excellent. And I hope that's encouraging for anybody watching this.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I would say get involved.
Yeah.
Especially, if you have a passion for something, if you have a passion for mental health, you want to try to improve things, get involved, because that's the way you change things.
Because I know I'm on the email list of Jackie Nixon.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, and on all the work she does for connecting us and everything. I'm really... Because my ideas around kind of the mental health, like we mentioned earlier on, is the idea that we need to really connect more. And I really believe the council has a large role to play in helping the community connect more.
Absolutely.
So I think there's great things happening behind the scenes.
And there is bits of funding out there as well for organisations.
Make sure you write them down.
Yeah. Oh God, I've done it now. I mean, for example, at a local level, we've got things like Community Chest, where community groups can get a bit of money if they want to put on a project or something. We've got a social isolation fund, so if they want to put on stuff for social isolation, I mean, in my ward, there's things like they do sort of a crochet club where it brings together some of the older people, and things like that. We've got a really good youth club in my ward, which does absolutely fantastic work in sort of getting the kids off the streets, getting them involved in different activities, and they do really good stuff. So there is stuff going on in our communities, but once again, it's a bit similar to the charity. It's getting people knowing about it, and getting it out there. So that's really important. But I do think the council do I'll say it under my breath. Yeah. But I do think the council do quite a good job at, getting into our communities and trying to get people involved and linking people up. I think there is some good work going on.
Well, I know, we're going to talk more probably later on, because I'm quite keen on interacting with the council more and try and pass on a few ideas about mental health and the kind of the view from the front line. So it's important that people speak up. It's so easy, isn't it, to kind of say, oh well, these are to blame, these people are to blame, they've done this, they should be doing this. Well, no, we've got a voice. If we want better, then we have to step up to the plate and we have to take responsibility and say that, well, okay, I'm going to get involved. I'm going to be part of change.
Absolutely. I mean, I always say in sort of my role with the charity, I always try to get things for the charity. I'm always a bit cheeky. I'll go to a business and I'll try and get something for free, or I'll try and get some funding here or there. Right. But I always say the worst they can say is no. Yeah. Ask the question. Make your voice heard. Try to change things. If they come back and say no, you haven't lost anything.
Absolutely.
You might have lost an hour of your time. There we are. But you got to try. If you don't try, you don't get.
Absolutely.
There's a good northeast saying. I think you know what I'm going to say. Shy Ben
gets no time. You're absolutely right, and that's what I'm quickly learning, and I'm relearning. Because you've got to ask a question.
Go for it.
Yeah. With that, I mean, I've got a project in my mind as we're speaking now, and I think later on tonight I'll be typing up an email and kind of pushing it forward, just thanks to this conversation.
That's what we need.
But you have to really kind of push your luck and try. And when we do actually really try, when we push our luck, that's when maybe these exciting things might happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, don't think small, go big. And if you don't do it, then you might get the small things.
Exactly. And that's what I'm really trying to take on board at the minute. So, I mean, obviously, If You Care Share Foundation, they started small. You see, it started off with just a laptop.
Absolutely.
And it started off small, and look at it now. But it's terrifying. I mean, I'm speaking from a personal point of view. I personally think Lighthouse Therapy Group has got massive potential, really massive. But it requires me to kind of really reach out to people and kind of think big and do big things and say, well, come on, let's get on board, let's do this together.
But the good thing when when you're looking to sort of think big, doing what you do, it can help more people, and I think that's a big driver.
Yeah.
You know, if you're just going at it from I want to make a profit and everything like that, it's not so much of a driver. But if you're going out there and thinking, well, actually, I can get bigger, I can help more people, I can reach more people, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
What a great sort of driver for it. I mean,
Exactly.
it's absolutely fantastic.
Exactly. But again, it comes down to that awareness factor, doesn't it? We have to really make people aware. And I mean, I suppose, a quite relevant topic at the moment of the tragic incident the other week of Caroline Flack taking her own life. And it's incredibly sad, and more kind of information is kind of unravelling about the whole kind of situation. But that awareness that is bringing up, it's creating a kind of, maybe it's a bit of a movement, which can only be good.
Absolutely.
And maybe it's out of kind of a bit of misery, a bit of sadness, some positivity can come.
I mean, I think the thing that we need is we need it to be consistent, because we have, let's be honest, we've been here before, you know, and you go through a stage where there's a few weeks of really everyone's pushing it, everyone's talking about it, which is great, absolutely fantastic. Yeah. But we need that to be consistent,
absolutely.
And it shouldn't, let's be honest, it shouldn't take the death of a young woman for that to happen. Yeah. And it is such a tragedy, and we have been here before, and I fear that we probably will be here again. Yeah. And we need to look, I suppose we need to look at the causes of why we get to that stage. Yeah. And more does need to be done. Yeah. It really does.
I think you really hit the nail on the head there, because I never really thought of that kind of angle, the consistency. And yeah, you're absolutely right. When you think of the likes of Robin Williams and all these other big names, I mean, you see a lot on social media, the picture of this is what depression looks like, and it's all the kind of smiling, laughing faces. Yeah. But you're absolutely right, it needs that consistency. But can't take our feet off the pedal this time.
Absolutely.
We've got to keep pushing on and keep that level of awareness up and reach out to more and more people. Yeah.
And that is the problem. It's, I suppose we've got social media nowadays, and social media is a blessing and a curse, I think. I genuinely do.
Absolutely.
Because obviously social media has got this conversation started once again. People are talking about, the tragic death of Caroline Flack there, and the background behind it, and encouraging people to talk about mental health, be kinder, etc., which is great. It's fantastic. But it is also a curse as well.
Yeah.
And there's no easy answer to it. We've got social media now. It's probably not going to disappear. No. And it's how you deal with that. Yeah. And there's no easy answer, to be honest with you.
There's really not. It's really difficult. But it's kind of, when we think about it, it's kind of, the disconnectedness. That's a word that keeps coming up to us. Disconnecting. We're same as a society, we're becoming really disconnected. But when we think of social media, we're trying to connect in the wrong ways.
That's right. Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, we're trying to connect in a alternative.
I think it's because obviously times have changed now, and I suppose in the old days, communities, you had communities there who you knew your next door neighbour, you knew the woman down the street, you knew, all your school friends, you knew your work colleagues really well, and everyone was together and everyone was community, and you'd have a laugh with them, and you'd see you through the good times. Yeah. But actually, when you had that community, they saw you through the bad times as well. Whereas social media is, we all put it out there on social media. That there's no one having a bad time on social media. Nah. When you go on Facebook, everyone's having a great time. There's nothing wrong in their life. And that's the problem. You only get to see one side of things. Yeah. Whereas when you had those old communities, there was the both sides, and there was people to help and support you. So it's difficult. Like I say, social media is a blessing and a curse, because we see from our charity, to be honest with you, it is helping us to reach more people as well. So there is that good side of it. Yeah. But there's no easy answer.
There's not.
Really
and
no easy
that's
answer,
the humdinger.
Unfortunately.
That really is the humdinger. And it's kind of, even as a professional, you find, that how many likes has my page got now? Yeah. Am I reaching people? And the pressure it creates on yourself.
It's like a drug.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I think there has been studies into it, to be honest with you, where some people, you know, they'll put it, you know, when they put a picture up, if they don't get a certain amount of likes, it does make them feel down and depressed. But if they get a certain loads of likes, they're happy, they're over the moon, and it's strange. It's so strange.
And it's kind of sad in a way that so many children now, the next generation's kind of grown up in that.
Yeah.
So that they know no different.
That's it.
And that's what we need to really kind of challenge. Give them an alternative. You know, really get. I mean, I do my Connected Families for Outdoor Adventures program, and we kind of say, right, no phones. You use your phones to take photos and whatnot when we go on these kind of adventures, hunting down animals and all these kind of stuff. And I see no social media. Yeah, at the end of it, share your pictures and all that, which is exactly what you're saying. This is the good thing about it. We can share the experience, a positive experience, but kind of come away, give an alternative to kids. Let kids see the parents now without a mobile phone in the hand.
And that's it. I mean, you know, it's great to get kids out into the wild and get them, you know, getting experiences rather than seeing an experience on a screen, you know, and that's, you know, going out walking, doing, you know, exercise, sport, things like that. It's great for your mental health. It's fantastic. But there's so many kids who are just... they're stuck to social media, and it's so sad. It really is.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. Getting out in the outdoors now is so vitally important.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, the last one we did there, we went to Thornley Woods, and it was absolutely amazing. And I'm so excited for this year because, I mean, we took in our first volunteer, Sarah, and I'll give her a good plug because she is an absolute gem. You know, and she's fully qualified at the max, you know, over 20 years experience, kind of taking people on these adventure trips and whatnot. And I just wish I could take her on properly as a full-time employee so we can just do this kind of stuff every day. But the stuff we've got planned for the summer is absolutely amazing.
And kids love it. They genuinely do, you know. I mean, kids think they enjoy being in front of their computer and so, and I'm sure they do. But when you get them out there, into the wild, you know, doing adventures, things like that, it's fantastic.
I think what you just said there, kids think. I think that is absolutely bang on. Kids think they love it. Yeah. Because they're not given an alternative.
It's what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
You know, you go with the crowd and...
Yeah.
I suppose
absolutely. That's what you do. But no, it's been absolutely brilliant having you on.
No, thank you for inviting us. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, and we'll talk more off screen. We might do a special podcast to learn about all the fingers in the pies that you've got. Yeah. So which party is it you're with?
Oh, I couldn't possibly say it. You can Google us.
Everybody's there watching at home now, having a quick search. No, but honestly, that's what you did for getting that passed through the council, you know, the pages, work and everything. Brilliant. It shows that councillors are actually taking positive steps. Yeah, so everybody, don't just get on council's back, you know, actually praise some of the stuff that they do.
Only some of it, though.
Only some of it, yeah. But no, thank you very much for coming on, and thank you very much for everything you do with the If You Care Share Foundation. I'm not going to thank you for selling us that football for 60 quid.
No, thank you for buying it. That's money in the pot.
Thank you very much, Dominic.
Thank you very much.